This is our fourth year, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. We seem to be doubling people every year, and we definitely are increasing the amount of filmmakers that are coming here every year, and the amount of films we're taking, the quality of the films we're getting, and I think we're just turning Annapolis into a real film festival town. We have a lot of, under the radar people that aren't considered celebrities, but that are really on the verge of breaking out, directors, young actors. And then we have a film called Being Charlie that's directed by Rob Reiner, and it was written by his son. And he is going to be up on the big screen, Skyping in for the Q&A on Saturday afternoon. The film's at 1 o'clock. And we're excited about that because, Rob is just such a fantastic director. He's done, I think, some of everybody's favorite movies.
Well, obviously it was very emotional. The whole process of going through it, I mean, it's not exactly us, but we did draw from our own experiences. And it was almost like, therapy in that for the year that we worked on it, it forced me to see more of what he was going through. It forced him to see more of what I was going through. And as we talked things out, we got closer. And then it also was reflected in the script. So it was an amazing process. It was emotional and difficult at times, but from a creative standpoint, it was probably, more fulfilling than anything I've ever been through. Well, every film you make teaches you more, and I always say, you bring to the experience where you are evolutionally, if that's a word, in the evolution process, wherever you are. So you bring those skills and that knowledge and that experience at any given point in time. I just made another film, LBJ, and I bring, a lot of experience from, what I thought about LBJ back then and my feelings about politics and how to make a film, and those all come together. And each time you learn something, and hopefully you can take it to the next project. Well, this has been my favorite movie for my whole life, which is It's a Wonderful Life. And the reason I like that movie is, it hasn't changed over all these years, but I've changed, and the more I appreciate life, value life, realize how precious it is, the more that film becomes, meaningful to me. So I love that movie, and I've always loved that movie. And the message is pretty clear, which is, you have this one life, and you don't want to throw it away. And so that's a movie that means the most to me.
What did you think of the movie?
I thought it was awesome. It really made me feel like I was in the life of a parent in the drama that they deal with on a daily basis with a child that is addicted to drugs. And I could see both perspectives, and it was a situation where I could take myself outside and look out from outside of the box in and see how sometimes manipulative behaviors that we have as adults can play in a very create a traumatic effect with our children. I think that the style of it was very realistic in the fact that addiction can hit any community, whether you're poor, rich.
Rob Reiner,
anybody. It can affect anybody. If you don't know somebody that doesn't have a drug addiction, consider yourself lucky, or have a friend that has lost their child, or you yourself losing a child or having an addicted child. But to have Rob Reiner share this, I think, speaks loud.
Even if you're not a mom, you've got to have a feeling of sympathy. I teared up. It's that's intense relationship that. These are the things that are so important, first of all, in our lives. The quality of our life is so shaped by our relationship with others and with our members of our family.
Oh, we thought it was terrific. I thought it was really cool that Rob Reiner shared partly his personal story, and his son had written it. But it was really cool to see a father and son product over something that was so personal and painful, and I think something a lot of people deal with today. So I thought it was fabulous.
And what about you? What did you think of the movie?
I really like the perspective of that sort of trusting your gut when it comes to your own child, and sort of knowing what might be best for the people that and if that goes against what maybe the trained professionals say, you sort of take that into account, but you finally sort of have to trust your gut and say, I know my kid, and I know our family, and I think I know what he needs or she needs in that moment.
The name of my film is Search Dog, and the film is really about a story of Matthew Zarella. And Matthew Zarella is a former trooper for the Rhode Island State Police, and he rescues pound dogs and has turned them into search and rescue canines. The film also tracks several other stories, though. He tracks the story of his students, who are to my right, Abby Shabbat, Sean Porter, Scott Carlston, and Charlie Bergeron. And we follow them over the course of several years as they learn the art of search and rescue, but we also follow them on live searches over time.
Buster is a retired explosive detection dog. He was originally obtained and trained by the Marine Corps, United States Marine Corps. And at 6 years old, he was retired, and we obtained him in 2013 for the state police. And we retrained him and used him for 2 more years. And then when he and I retired together from the state police, I cross-trained him in human remains detection. So now, as a retiree, we use that discipline.
I think Matt is an exceptional human being, and also he loves to share what he has learned working with these animals, and he loves to share the beauty of this discipline. Being able to find missing persons with a dog is a tremendous feat. And Matt was such a phenomenal subject to work with. And I had the idea for the film, but in all honesty, I didn't know that one of the nation's best canine handlers lived in my own small state of Rhode Island.
I see.
And there he was, and it was such a tremendous opportunity, and enabled me, because we lived close enough, that I was able to go on searches and document those searches over time. So that was great. It's almost like you're at the World Series, and you work your entire career for that moment to share something that you believe is incredibly special with an audience. And the beauty of film is that it has the capacity to transform people's hearts. And what I think is so exciting about this work that they do is that it shows us that these animals and people together are really almost superior because of what they can do together. So what can we learn from these animals and humans as a team? So I'm incredibly inspired by that message of the work that they do, and watching these people, the incredible discipline and hard work that it takes to do this work, and the calmness in the face of incredible tragedy that is required. And in all honesty, it's so easy to be kind of hysterical and dramatic as a person or as a society, however you want to say it. But I think there's something to learn from that calmness in the face of adversity. And I think that's a really beautiful thing that I've learned, to be calm when you know,
matter what.
when it matters.
You know, it really does feel like the art scene has taken a step forward here. I'd like to say, oh, the Annapolis Film Festival had a lot to do with that, and I think it has had a lot to do with it, but it's not the only reason. I think there was a convergence of the arts a couple of years ago where all the different aspects of the arts were coming together and saying, we want to share this with our community. Before it was just, here are the artsy people, and here are the sailing people, and here are the military people, and guess what, you know, and here are all the different neighborhoods and all the diversity, and now it's a question of, we all live together, we have art we want to share, we want to bring, and we want to share with people who have a lot of other interests. But the kind of art that film brings is the kind of art that hits all those other interests, you know, that people have. And I think that's other art realms are figuring that out as well. So I think all of a sudden there's this huge evolving art explosion here in Annapolis.
It's absolutely growing. I mean, I just remember what it looked like in this first year, and now it's been, what, around 5 years? And
3, I think it's the 3rd year.
oh, well, 3 years, it's
Yeah.
even more impressive. Just like the amount of interest and the people that they're attracting and the sizes of the audience and the movies even so, you know. It's really, really very impressive. Patty and Lee have put together something amazing.
Right.
I think it's going to continue to get stronger, and I think that we have to be a big part of that push forward, because if we stop, it's like we say to people, you know, this is a community-based film festival. If you don't support us, if the businesses don't come out and support us, if they don't donate, if they don't do things like that, we're going to go away. You know, and I think if we went away now after all of this, and people look forward to this, and they know we're bringing them things at their feet that they would have to travel hundreds of miles to get other places, you know, possibly, then I think that makes a huge difference. These are the gifts that artists can give communities, and the communities want them. Therefore, the powers that be have to support it, you know. We've got some ideas for year 5, and that's going to sort of brand Annapolis, and that's a really good thing.